Hey, it's Richie and Wes.
He's Richie.
And he's Wes.
And this is our show. Collective fucking sigh.
What? It's just another day, another drama.
Closing out the month, starting a new month. I'm glad to be starting a new month.
So am I. Fuck, I have already said this many times on Twitter. I have denounced this Black History Month. It has been total ass.
Nothing good happened.
Nothing good happened. It was all a bunch of fuckery and tomfoolery and no. So I said I'm going to celebrate it at a month of my choice later on this year. Black Twitter made a rule that mixed black kids only got half the month, so they couldn't start. So they had to stop celebrating halfway through. Which was I love Black Twitter because it's hilarious. Which was a very hilarious debate because someone's like, wait, no, I've been alternating days. And they're like, and the lady that posted was like, oh, sorry, honey, that was vetoed in 2020, so that's no longer upheld anymore. Sorry, but you be blessed. Someone's like, wait, I have been celebrating. I thought it was at the end of the month, like the middle to the end of the month. And someone's like, nope, so sorry. Someone's like, well, my dad's black, my mom's white. She's like, nope, scram, respectfully.
The memo did not get out. Wow. Yeah, and you've gone through a bunch of shit this month.
Oh, yeah, currently.
Currently, even, because you busted your knees.
Yeah. Yeah, and PETA better not say shit to me.
First of all, you're probably the only gay man in West Hollywood who has busted both of their knees.
Yes.
Not related to a sexual activity.
Oh, yes.
So Richie is currently hobbling around.
I am. I have a crutch. I have named him.
What's the crutch's name?
He's Crutchante the Third. Crutchante Jenkins the Third. My lovely followers and friends on Twitter had me cracking up during this. So basically, I'm just going to do long story short. I was walking from Pavilions, and a stray cat just darted out of the bush, and I was mid-stride, and my right foot was going down, and instinctively, I didn't want to step on the cat. So I just tried to, your body does when you try to do something that it's not supposed to do. Yeah, I toppled over.
Mm-hmm. Threw yourself off balance.
Yeah, my 6'2" self fell. Both, not even my hands, because then it would have been scraped palms, whatever. No, landed kneecaps first on the fucking concrete. To the point where my right knee is my leg looks just like a Slim Jim at this point. There's no thigh to small knee to calf situation. It's all just one big log that is now wrapped up. My ankle is twisted and I have a crutch. I have my boy here. But yeah, I will say Twitter cracked me up with the comments because I made the joke. I'm like, hey guys, boyfriend reveal. Here's Crutchante. I'm like, isn't he cute? These bitches. We love a man that supports stability and support. Next one. I knew you like twinks.
He is the ideal body type for some.
He really is. Someone said, we love a man that can hold you in your time of need. Get where you need to go.
That is right.
Next one. A twink? Someone said, he's tall but lacking a little bit of pizzazz. Damn, skinny legend. Crutchante seems like he'll provide you with the support you need, wishing you a speedy recovery. Next one. Twink! Someone said, he looks dry. Give that thing some water.
Aww.
Built a little funny, but he looks like he can stand on his own. And someone said...
This is why we love the internet. This is why we started this fucking show.
Exactly.
Literally.
And then my friend Sergio, hey Sergio, said, oh, you chose a gray man. Wow. You couldn't have waited one more day till Black History Month is over? I'm like, please don't get interracial or anti-interracial black...
Let's not make a whole thing of this.
But yes.
Well, that's us. And we're so glad that you're here with us. We are ready to
Look, I barely slept last night in pain. I'm like, initially I was going to call off the show and I was like, you know what? No. I'm going to sit here, have some much deserved wine with the new boo.
Yeah.
Next to me.
Yeah, no, this is our weekly therapy. So I'm glad you're here with us, like as though I'm more than one person. Right. Just me and all my personalities.
He was talking about Crutchante.
I do say shit like that. I'm like, yeah, we need to do that. Like, who is we? Well, yes. I was actually just talking about me and the voices in my head, but... Well, you know what I found out this week? This is not really new. I just thought this was cool.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, you all know the Nike swoosh.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the story behind it?
You know what's funny? I do, and I don't remember it. But I remember reading about it. So please educate me.
Refresh your... First of all, it is designer Carolyn Davidson. She was the one who came up with the design for them way back in the day. And it was one of her first jobs, and she didn't know what to charge.
Oh, my God.
And she charged them $35.
Oh, my God.
3, 5.
That is insane.
What? Mm-hmm. Not knowing, of course, that Nike was going to take this and run with it forever. That it was going to become one of the most recognizable logos of all time.
That is nuts.
And before this becomes a story about know your value and know your worth and try to see the future, because you can't.
You can't.
Nike said, you know what, Carolyn? You deserve more.
Good for them.
And later,
wait, hold on. Is there a twist?
No.
Okay.
The twist is good.
Okay, good. Because you know how that happens.
No, I know, right? Yeah. Like, actually, you owe us $3 million. No. They said, you know what? You deserve more for that. They called her to the Nike offices and they presented her with this huge fucking fanfare and all this shit, including like chocolate swooshes and like all this shit.
That's adorable.
She got a diamond ring, a gold diamond ring that was engraved with the swoosh. Imagine having your own design on a diamond ring.
That would be amazing.
Oh, and she got a little envelope.
How much money?
With 500 shares of stock.
Oh, fuck yes.
Which over time has split as the company has grown, and that stock is now worth about $4 million.
Fuck yes. Good for her.
And good for Nike.
Yes. Finally, someone doing fucking something right.
For real. I can't say anything about them. But no shade.
That's really all we ask the people to do. It's just pay your people.
I hope she didn't cash that shit out on day one. She's like, yay,
$1,000. Virgin Airlines using my likeness in a billboard. I'm kidding. I signed off on that. Kids, please don't sign off on your stock photos. They're probably going to end up somewhere, and you're not going to make any money off of them.
Yeah, we could dip back to that. Let it be a lesson. You should be charging full price up front. Know your contracts. Know what you're getting into. Or also, at the same time, there are opportunities that you may have that require you to sign off on something.
There are, yes.
And here's some really good advice. I've been following some of these, like, because I want to get into commercial acting because I have that short film coming out this year.
Yes.
And, like, I want to get into... I want to do hair commercials.
Oh, my God. That sounds amazing.
I have great hair.
You really do.
So... I've been like...
It's luscious. It's gorgeous.
It is.
It's not thinning.
No.
The hair is herring.
You know, very healthy and, soft. So I have been on... But, you can't do a commercial without... Even modeling, whatever.
Yes.
You're acting. You're telling a story. You got to learn how to work with the camera. I have to learn how to toss that hair, right? So I've been kind of watching all these different actor things and whatever. And some really good advice. I forget who it was, but he was in Next Friday.
Chris Tucker?
No. It was the really big, beefy guy. Fuck.
Oh my God, the guy that played Debo. Dilo. Shit. Debo. But I cannot remember his name.
He only got paid... like $4,000 for that movie?
What?
It was a 2-day gig.
Okay.
So first of all, it was a 2-day gig.
Different story. Context is everything.
Also, what he said was he signed off on that. They said you got 2 days of work. You're playing this character. You're making this much money. Here's the deal.
Mm-hmm.
He took the deal. And he's not going to look back on that because that actually led to many other things. And now obviously he's, making way more than that. He's in bigger roles, all the stuff. So if you agreed to it, that's what you agreed to.
Mm-hmm.
Don't look back on it. Look forward. make better decisions. So,
Hey. I mean, not mad at that at all.
okay. Well, you know who's mad?
Oh God, who?
People who are lactose intolerant.
Why now? I mean, they're always mad, but sorry, my best friend's lactose intolerant, and this fool, like, I want ice cream. I'm like, no, you don't. Mind you, I'm not even lactose intolerant, and I don't even eat normal ice cream half the time unless it's Ben and Jerry's Chunky Monkey. But I've discovered this amazing oat milk fucking ice cream that I just adore, and I'm like, fool, bye. And then he's just complaining, oh my God, my stomach hurts. I'm like, I told you, and your body told you for the last 37 years of your life that you can't have fucking dairy.
Don't do it. Oh yeah, I just had a client of mine today that was like, oh, well, my stomach kind of hurts because I, decided with my coffee I would have half and half. Sir, you are well into your 30s.
And you're your own worst fucking enemy at this point because why?
Don't tell me.
You are not some 13-year-old discovering their body and what they can and can't handle.
No. So yeah, our coaching session was about knowing ourselves and our
right.
However, here's who they're really mad at. They've now taken focus. And that focus, their target, Dunkin' Donuts.
What'd they do?
A $5 million lawsuit because they charge extra for non-dairy milk.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
The lawsuit claims that it discriminates against lactose intolerant people and milk allergies because you're charging them more for the same thing people that don't have it.
I mean, yeah, yeah, it's kind of a point, not gonna lie. Damn, how did I switch sides so quickly?
I know, it got you with that one, didn't it?
Yeah, and I'm not easily got, but they got me. They gagged me a little bit.
Starbucks does that. Does Starbucks do that? I don't think they do.
I don't know.
You can just choose.
Yeah, you can just choose. No, I do know that because
you can just customize it.
Yeah.
But fuck Starbucks because they're
exactly
union busters.
Yes.
So fuck them too.
Yeah, that, and they're also Zionists, but yes.
Hard. It's so
yeah, that's a hard
to be on this side now.
It's a hard state to cut. Not gonna lie. Now the vegans are gonna come after me.
I know. We're also at a point where everybody has something.
Yes. Literally.
We all are trying to be very sensitive to you.
Yes.
Just as much as I want
people to be sensitive. But it's very difficult sometimes. I'm sorry, but it really
truly is. It's exhausting. And I recognize how exhausting it is because I have a thing with sound. And a lot of times something
we know.
A lot of times
he can hear everything except for a knock.
Except for a knock on my
He's not
front door.
good with lower tones and whatnot. He is extremely hypersensitive to anything like above normal and high-pitched. Yes. I say this because I'll be knocking at the door for like 5 minutes, and I'll just have to text him.
You can just whistle, and I'd be like, oh, he's at the door.
I can't even whistle.
I can't whistle either.
I used to be able to do the thing with like the tongue, like rolling back and like the two fingers.
I've tried so many times.
But now I can't even do that anymore.
No, spit everywhere.
My tongue has gotten way too accustomed to way more adult things.
So my grandfather could whistle so well.
I can't. It pisses me off. I want to be able to whistle.
Me too.
I've watched YouTube tutorials and it's just nothing. I spit everywhere. I just blow.
Yeah, it's horrible.
I'll stick to sucking dick and what I'm good at. It's
exactly.
Fine.
Yeah.
Stick to the rivers and lakes that I'm used to. Oh my God.
To a better purpose.
So to circle back around, and we don't normally do this, I'm like, I know I have something to say that's not in my notes, and it happened to align with the whole contract situation or whatever. So if you didn't know, God, I'm going to fuck up her name. We don't do names well on this show. Mariska Hargitay. I think that's her. Yes, from...
Hargitay?
Yes, there you go.
I only know that from Mariska Hargitay, from The Love Guru.
I'm done with you so much. So little known fact is that so if you're a Power Rangers fan like I am, and you've seen the first movie, she was the original Dulcea, the queen on that foreign planet that actually gave the Rangers their ninja powers
Mariska Hargitay?
Yes, hold on, pause. Don't even Google along yet. So she was recast.
Oh, so she never made it on air?
Not on air, but she filmed most of the scenes. But what happened was this, and she's talked about this, I think, on Jimmy Kimmel or one of those shows. There are pictures of her in full costume. Mind you, if you don't remember this, and it's been so long, Dulcia is the bad bitch of that whole other planet with the sticks, and she breaks them apart and just swinging them around and makes that sound, and all the birds get pissed off, and she's just She even hit Tommy with one of her staffs and knocked him to the ground, being like, "Why the fuck are you in my house? Who the hell are you?" Until they said Zordon's name, and they're like, "Oh wait, hold on, you know Zordon? Cool, we're good." So yes, she was cast as that part, and they had her on hold a lot because if you don't know this history, and this is probably something that only me and a few other people know, they shot the Power Rangers movie and that whole season that was running concurrent at the same time. Mm. So those actors the Rangers were going from the movie sets to also filming the show. So they were saying a few lines here and then changing costumes and then going to film. Yeah, so that was all set in New Zealand. So
she was like the K-pop factory.
Literally.
You do not sleep, you work 24 hours a day.
And you make enough as a McDonald's employee. Mm-hmm. And that's about it. But yeah, she was on hold a lot, and I think she said she started filming in October, then November rolled around, and then she said December rolled around and she wasn't really filming for the first couple of weeks. And then she's like, "Hey guys, I've been on hold for a while. I'm gonna fly back home and spend time with my family for the holidays."
And she had been there that whole time?
Yeah, but she'd already filmed a lot, but then she just happened to be a few weeks on hold.
Yeah, right.
But they're still paying her, and she's still staying there. Yeah, they're not paying her much, but still. But actually, she would have gotten paid more because the Rangers said that they were happy to do the movie because, one, they got a bigger paycheck than the actual television show, one. But also, they kept going over the time limit. And it was in their contract that they would get paid double for their time.
Yeah.
At the time, they were still non-union. But still, it was in their contract that they would get paid. So they got paid way more money than they thought they would be getting paid for that movie. So they were cool with it. She was not. So she went home just to spend the holidays with her family. And then she said, January 3rd rolls around. She's like, "Hey guys, yes, I'm ready to go." And they're like, "Oh, honey, it's fine. We've already recasted you." And she said that she was upset because she was so excited with the prosthetics and the outfit and the bad bitch, role. Mm-hmm. But she said that also taught her that when you're in hold, you just fucking stay on hold. You're still getting paid and you're still getting all your perks. And a holiday missed with your family is not worth your paycheck or a career. So she says now that when she's on SVU or any other show,
both ways. They can fly them right out to you,
right? And they said, yeah, she said when she's on SVU or any other show, and they say we need, she's like, "I'm there." It taught her that very valuable lesson.
Oh my God, that reminds me of a story. So, as you all know, well now I'm big celebrity coach, helping people with their nutrition and exercises and all that stuff. But prior to that, I actually worked for Entertainment Tonight, and at the time it was called The Insider, which I think
is, oh my God, that's right.
I don't think that's even on the air anymore.
I don't think it is either, no.
I feel bad for all those people that worked on that show. But still, a lot of people did crossover. So
okay, that's good then.
I would say many of those people still probably work for Entertainment Tonight.
Okay, good.
However, when we were doing The Insider, Laura Spencer was the host.
Yes.
I cannot say anything personally bad about Laura Spencer.
Okay.
However, it's also just one of those things where, you can tell some people are... Look, she's on Good Morning America now. Yeah. She's had this huge career. You can just tell some people are very driven in what they're doing.
Exactly.
And that is their focus, and it's almost robotic. So I can't say anything bad. It's also just
yes.
She was there
laser
for
focus.
A purpose. She thought she was going to take over.
Vision.
She thought she was going to take over from Mary Hart when Mary Hart retired. That did not happen, and then she said bye.
Yeah.
But there was one day where I think she was kind of getting tired of the shit, all this stuff. And they did string her along too. I think she did really think she was going to replace Mary Hart. And on Entertainment Tonight. So anyway, she was not feeling well, and she called in sick, and they're like, "Oh well, Actually, Victoria's on the set filming some pickups, so don't worry about it. We'll have her host the show. No, I'm coming in. I'll be there in 30 minutes.
Oh, shit. Now it's some competitions in there. Now, all of a sudden.
Whew, that girl got her ass into the studio.
Yep.
She was in that makeup chair getting the hair done. She wasn't sick that day.
I'm sure she wasn't. She pulled the fuck through, didn't she?
Because that could be, look, if that bitch did a really good job, they want her back.
Yes.
Oh, now you have a co-host. Oh, you know what? You don't need to come in on Thursdays and Fridays anymore because Victoria's hosting the show. Right? It happens.
Yep.
That's exactly
when you're
what
on
happens.
hold, you're on hold, and you follow those fucking contracts. I can tell you this, my friend and me.
Because I know why Victoria was there. Victoria was always hanging around.
Yeah,
Victoria was in the newsroom. Victoria was there.
Victoria's making coffee. She cared what the fuck she was doing.
Go. Yeah, she's in the VO studio right now. Like,
right? See, now. No, but my friend and me, as y'all know, Heather McDonald.
This bitch.
I'm still unsubscribed, but she still popped up my fucking YouTube for some reason, which I'm just like, why are you there?
Well,
but the
after
fucking
listening
algorithm
for so many years, I know you have a little falling out, but
yes, but whatever, it is what it is. And I still
you'll have to listen to past episodes to catch up. We can't go rehash the.
I called her out on some bullshit that she said about a deceased person, and then she popped off like, I don't have to explain how to do my podcast. I'm like, well,
yeah. Look, we don't do research for our podcast.
I got a very small podcast, but at least the shit that we represent is actually accurate, and we'll Google along. So, and if I swear to God, trademark that shit. I swear to God, if that pops up,
Google along.
If that popped up on a fucking show, I'm suing her ass. But we
have to just.
If you don't know,
what we're talking
she
about.
actually, before she was even on Chelsea Handler, she was a comedy writer, and she worked with the Wayans brothers. She was in White Chicks, and she helped co-write that movie as well. And she lost her connections with them, which, with that family, and as many projects as they consistently pull out. I'm not answering this phone call. Sorry, guys. You
want to be in with them.
Yes. She got too comfortable, and her contract had a non-compete situation, and she called in sick one day. You know why she called in sick? Because she got an audition for something. And then, with them being the fucking Wayans brothers, of course they're going to, and this is the height of their movie after movie after movie, like blockbuster situation. They found out and they said, you know what, you're good. We found a writer to replace you. Didn't even get the audition. Dream career.
All you had to do
experience.
was nothing.
Literally showed up to fucking work. You went to an audition that you didn't even get, which no one knows if they're gonna get an audition or not. But you are already in with the
chances are
with the Wayans brothers. You could, and you have a scene in that movie. They love reusing people. That would have been way more than whatever the fuck you were auditioning for in the first place, girl. But I mean, she's learned her lesson, but.
That's what happens.
Look, when a job is there, just pull through with it, or at least do the proper. And this isn't even entertainment.
That boils down to everything.
Yeah,
I don't care
everything.
If you don't like your job.
Oh, I recently had 3 people that quit on the spot, high and dry.
Okay.
No official notice. Grass is always greener on the other side.
All right.
Asking for their jobs back. Mm-hmm. One of them was 2 years ago. One of them was like 4 months ago. One was like a year ago.
No.
And you know what's funny about that? With this city being as small as it is, and people in my industry being most likely in entertainment, bartender, servers, they usually are trying to aspire to do something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you this right now. If I ever were to become an executive producer, anyone in casting, and I saw anyone that fucked me over when I was their boss, or even as their bar partner, as a bartender, they didn't show up and I was slept in the weeds, I wouldn't hire them. I don't care if you grew or not as a person. Don't give a shit because of how you treated me then and how you conducted yourself in a professional manner. So please be professional at all times on your contract, and at least if you're going to bow out gracefully.
Or have that conversation. Hey, I'm thinking about,
Yes.
oh, my agent sent me this.
Exactly.
You know the best way to approach shit like that? Oh my God. This is a trick that works so well. It does not matter what job you have, doesn't matter where you're at. Ask for advice.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what do you think about in this situation? She could be like, oh, my agent sent me this or whatever. But hey, what do you think about this? Like, oh, this kind of came my way and I was just like thinking about it and like bridge it that way.
Yes.
Because
The
if they're
worst-
completely closed to it.
Worst case scenario is someone saying no. 7 times out of 10, if you're upfront and you're kind of positioning it that way, they'll be like, you know what, we can kind of probably work something out. Like, you brought this to our attention. Let's try to, meet a middle ground. Easy peasy.
Or what can happen too, this has happened to me where someone's aware of something that you kind of want to do, but it's not available right now. So you kind of start, that's called building block.
Yes.
And then like later on, you kind of tap back in. Oh, it's a little better of a situation now.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, quitting on the spot?
That's just unprofessional in general.
Foolish.
So no.
I mean, obviously, if you're being abused at work, that's a whole different story.
I mean, yes, that's a whole different... We're not even going to dive into that.
Oh, we are going to dive into it because P. Diddy...
Oh, God. We are touching on this?
Yes?
Well, this kind of actually segues into my next topic, so that's perfect.
See how this works?
We don't plan this show ahead, by the way. We got rid... I know I said notes earlier, but those are my personal notes. We don't share notes for the show anymore.
For the show. We talk about our personal shit before the show.
Yes, literally.
And then we're like, oh, let's just start recording. Yeah, so, talk about abuse. Jesus Christ. We have, I think we're just going to be referring to him as Sean Combs from now on, because that's his legal name, and he has been sued for, oh my God, soliciting underage sex.
Yes.
RICO racketeering. Yes. I mean, we kind of knew he's shady with his business.
I mean, yeah, out of everyone that found a bad boy, only him and one other person are alive. As if that's not fucking shady.
Yeah, conspiracy theories are already flowing about all that, of course. And he also apparently groomed several men to be his little paramours.
Yes.
Including perhaps Usher. Who may or may not have had a hand in introducing him to Justin Bieber. Which goes on and on and on.
The rabbit hole just is deeper than I care to even explore anymore. Nothing surprises me with that man.
It doesn't, but here's what I'm worried about. All the victims, like, please do not go up to Usher and be asking him about this stuff.
Exactly.
Please do not be approaching.
Leave that man alone. He's on Cloud 9 right now at the Super Bowl, about to do a residency, which I would not be purchasing because those tickets are fucking too much expensive.
I do want to go, though.
I do want to go, but I'm not paying those prices.
Justin Bieber's got his own thing going on.
Yes,
he started his little cult. He's got his wife. Leave them be.
Leave them be.
I'm also worried about the idea that this is going to all turn towards, because I feel the most salacious thing is the gay sex.
Yes.
Oh, he had sex with this person. Or, oh, he tried to fuck Cat Williams. Or, this, that, or the other. And that it's going to be sort of this narrow focus on that aspect of it instead of the actual abuse and assault. Yet again, a male artist is a sexual predator because of the power that he has.
Yep, I agree.
Oh, and one more thing I find disturbing is, of course, the media when they refer to... Okay, here's the thing. I'm not even going to quote it. No girl can be an underage sex worker.
Yes, exactly.
That is not a thing. That is a minor who is being trafficked. So watch for that in the reporting that you find. Yes. And question those. Question those outlets heavily. Because if they're referring to underage sex workers, they don't get it.
Exactly. Also, those two ladies did come forward and say that they were not underage. But the funny thing about this whole thing is that media and TMZ are so stupid with their non-clarification about things and digging themselves in deeper.
Yeah.
They never clarified that they were not sex workers that were actually targeted and hired by these people. So it's still wrong. They never denied that Diddy didn't send his son and other people out to find them, to come back, to have sex and party with them. That part was never, ever denied. Just the fact they weren't underage. As if that makes it any better. That's still trafficking.
Yeah.
Fucking ridiculous. But speaking of Diddy, his ex J-Lo has this video project.
Yes.
I actually got a chance to sit down and watch it.
It looks absolutely wild.
It was completely wild. I put on Twitter the clip of Britney from one of her documentaries way back in the day, where her mom sends her this like red velvet covered like talking ladder that has like inspirational things on each like rung, and she's like, I don't know what the hell this is, but it's really pretty. That's exactly what I thought about this video project or film or whatever, the visual, whatever.
Very, 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 very.
It's extremely gorgeous.
Big budget.
Yeah,
student film, basically.
Yes, but I will say this.
This is me.
Now. But I will say this. She also just a couple of days ago released a documentary on Amazon Prime detailing the goings on about it. And god damn it, if I don't respect this fucking woman after watching that fucking thing. And you know me, I know I'm an adult, I'm allowed to change my mind. And I do love me some J-Lo bobs.
Yeah.
And I think she's an amazing performer. But I was all, this is so self-serving and so narcissistic, but god damn it, if this documentary didn't fucking reel me in into loving her and her work ethic, because it was, and I actually will, and I'm thinking about it ever since it's about a J-Lo project, I do encourage you to watch the documentary first, and then watch the visual album movie thing that's going on. Because, I mean, it is really beautifully shot. And it's kind of like watching like 10 different movies in one.
Okay.
And for someone with ADHD like me who does not have a long attention span, it was kind of captivating. Yeah. And they did tie it in because it was kind of like she's at a therapy session and she's going through different things in her life and dreams that she's had. And then those videos are like those dreams and or her just describing things. All right. So there's a tie-in. Yeah. It's not completely bonkers like the trailer would believe you to believe. It's like, why is there a spaceship and then why is there a motorcycle chasing? Why is there a wedding scene and why is Keke Palmer just there randomly in like this weird, like,
and they're on the beach. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like what's that? Yeah, it all does make sense and it's beautifully shot. But the documentary, oh my! First and foremost, I do believe that she's not had any work done because she's makeupless a lot of it, and you can tell. That is just,
a lot can be done with Botox and fillers, as you know.
Well, very true. Yeah. But even then, no, she has wrinkles. She has wrinkles, and
she's been doing that a lot for her J-Lo.
She has a really good makeup artist. Yeah, I know she uses that. What is it called? That La Mer face cream that's like $500 a fucking thing or whatever. Yeah, clearly she has a great dermatologist. But it was like not glammed up and everything for, and you saw her going through the trenches. You saw her going through meetings and people telling her no one wants to see this. No one wants to like really invest in this, and put money behind it, and that's why she did the whole thing by herself with her own $20 million. Okay, and I will say this. She is a self-aware queen because she sat there and she's like, I know people are like, oh, why is she doing this? She's like, look, I know no one's clamoring for another J-Lo record. I'm not doing this because I need to do this. I'm doing this because I want to do this. It's something that I want to do. And I was all, bitch.
I mean,
not you dragging yourself like
bless her heart, even though she hasn't sung on half of her hit songs, she has always wanted to be a pop star. Like that was always her drive. Yes, when she was a fly girl. Yes, when she got to play Selena. Yes, her drive has always been to.
And I say, you know what? Good for fucking her. She didn't come from an affluent family. You know, she really did work her way from the bottom to the top. Yeah. And I was like,
No, she works hard. No, she works hard.
I was like, but you saw, like, she choreographed everything herself. You saw her in business meetings. They were running off the list of celebrities that said no to this. And she even said herself, she's like, oh, yeah, they're saying that they're, booked. She's like, that's what an actor or an actress or, a celebrity just doesn't believe in a project or doesn't want to attach themselves to it. I'm aware of that.
It's like, I know the code.
Yeah, she's like, my feelings aren't hurt about it. She's like, I get it. She's like, no one's even picking this up as a project, and that's why I'm self-funding it. Her manager, like, at some point in time was like, look, we need to do this, and this. She's like, I'm thinking, I know I want to, like, have her do this.
Yeah.
And she believes in this. And she has the means, but I'm thinking every fucking 6 hours is another $500,000 out of her own pocket. Like, there's no funding for any of this. So can we do this?
Yeah.
Can we do that? Like, let's do this.
Hey,
let's
Jane
wrap
Fonda
this
said
up
yes.
quicker.
Isn't Jane Fonda in it?
She is.
Yeah,
And you know what? My favorite part of it was?
Yeah.
Jennifer fucking Lewis. And I already have the quotes ready.
Yes.
And I'm going to do my best to do her voice.
Okay.
I can't do it, but if you've heard Jennifer Lewis, you'll get the gist of it.
She's fantastic.
Jennifer Lewis popped in, and these are my two favorite lines from her. She's sitting in it like in her chair. She says, "My agent calls me and says Jennifer Lopez is doing a music video." I say, okay, what does that have to do with me? I don't do music videos. I'm Jennifer Lewis. I have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Why would I show up for a music video, even if it was for J-Lo? I'm J-Lo. I died.
She's like, that's nice.
She's like, okay, what does that have to do with me?
I wish her luck.
And then she's sitting there, and she said, because there's a scene with her, Keke Palmer, Jane Fonda, a bunch of other people, Trevor Noah, and they're all astrology signs. And they ask her what she's playing. She says, I'm playing Gemini, that split bitch. I'm not into zodiac signs. I don't know what the fuck they do.
She got Gemini right, though.
Yes. It was seeing her
I love
literally
that kind of chaotic energy.
Yes, but seeing J-Lo just like, I mean, she was there in meetings. She was there just trying to figure shit out.
Oh, I'm sure people told her that shit with her, beauty line too, and her products, and all that stuff. And the one thing about her that I really, and I know we make fun of her a lot on this show. However, that bitch can fucking dance. Mm-hmm. And I gained a lot of respect for her from watching her show, World of Dance.
Oh, yeah,
it's a reality competition with, there's 3 judges. I forget who all they were. Okay, look, to say the things she said on the show to the dancers and the way she was encouraging them and critiquing them and all that stuff, you would have to be a true sociopath to say those things and not actually believe them. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like the way that she gave good technical advice too.
Yeah, because she was at heart a dancer.
Yes. And she fucking produced that fucking show and was the judge.
Exactly.
Probably because no one else would do it when she said, I have an idea for it.
Exactly.
And it was good.
Yes,
it was. God, that show was
I forgot all about that. Yes.
Really, really
I
good.
highly recommend literally watch the documentary first and then watch the visual album. They're both amazing, but the documentary really showed a different side of her that I just haven't seen.
I'll have to check it out. I love a good documentary.
And I love the behind the scenes business stuff of it. You know what I mean? And it was just so cool to see her dedication and her drive and all of that. Oh my God. And speaking of behind the scenes, sorry, I keep talking to my segment too long. But not that we have segments here, but no, I said that. But
who cares?
A bunch of random ass behind the scenes Britney Spears stuff has been popping up.
Ooh.
Which I spent 40 minutes watching yesterday because they did. So remember when she did that ABC special, which she did like Toxic and Every Time in the White Dress and and she was like bouncing around like club to club doing performances. Well, they did behind the scenes, and it was just someone like just with a camera. Like it wasn't anything like produced. It was someone following her around. I don't know if they intended for it to be But the camera quality was like shitty camera quality. It was just kind of just someone.
I feel like we're used to that now.
Yeah,
we're so used to handheld.
Yes,
shit,
but
so.
oh my god, I have not. For anyone thinking that Britney Spears was ever a puppet, you need to go ahead and watch this because she was anything other.
Well, until they put her on the drug.
Well, exactly, but this was years later. But yeah, she was directing,
calling the shots.
People. Calling the shots. This is when Columbus Short, which she dated for a very brief time before he became a fucking maniac. Why is he down on the fucking conservative shit? It's abusive ass. But that's true story.
Because he's a man.
Exactly. He was also one of the choreographers. And so they're going through like the things for like the toxic number and yada yada yada. And she's kind of like directing things and he's kind of chiming in or whatever. And then at one point she's like, okay, I don't think we need to mark this anymore. We could just kind of like riff off the rest of what we're doing, you know, it's like ad lib it like from that point on, like as far as like the choreography, we don't need to have it all staged up, you know. And he's like, it's like she's like, let's go on to the next song, and he's like, well, do you know "Breathe on Me"? Yeah, and she literally, no, that's what he asked her, and she literally stops, cocks her hip, puts her hands on her hips, and she's like, yeah, I know "Breathe on Me," and. Like, he's like, okay, then we'll just, like, you know, go to that next, whatever. And he walks away with the video producer. And they walk off frame. And you see her roll her eyes in disgust. And then go talk to some of her girl dancers. And she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, yeah, like, when's the last time that we did Breathe on Me? I mean, I don't know. Like, just, like, making up the conversation. And one of the dancers is like, I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe it's since, like a year ago in Vegas. And there's, like, laughing. And you see him walk right in the frame, all pissed off. And he's like, okay, so, like, are you taking what I'm saying right now? Like, or do you not think I can hear? And she says, she puts her hands on her hip. She says, oh, I know what I did. I know what I did. And he's like, okay, so like what I just told you, like, she's like, you know what? Actually, no, like it went in one ear, not the other. Yeah, I don't know what happened to it. It just, you know, yeah, I didn't understand what you were saying. I will show you the clip after the show.
Don't play with a bitch.
And then there's one point to where they're like actually on stage rehearsing, because this is like literally off the stage. And like the music starts playing and you see her like knelt down and she's like pointing up, like raise the music, and it's not going up. And she's like, look, we're not at a Sade concert right now. We are in a nightclub. This music needs to go up. She's like, and then
you need to bump.
No, but the cutest thing is that she's like, oh my God, I'm being rude. I'm sorry. In typical Britney fashion, she's like, "Well, we need to have the music up. Like, it needs to be energy. Like, we're not like we're in a nightclub. Like, we need to get this bumping." And they sit there, and you hear the volume going up, and she just like looks at the sound guy. She starts flipping him off, and then when it actually gets to the volume she wants, she starts like dancing like on the stage a little bit. I will show you all this. It was just hilarious.
Google along. We'll put a link in our notes because we do have show notes.
I was all, for anyone saying that this girl was just strung along and was a puppet, no, this girl had plenty of control. And that is
that's
exactly
what I like to see for her now.
Yes.
That she's back in control. She's, you know, I know she's having... still doing her social media craziness.
But whatever. I mean, look, like, I mean, I know...
Let her spin. Let her twirl.
I know Sunny Halston from The View was like, well, you know, some people are comparing Wendy Williams to Britney Spears. Like, maybe people do need things in place because, you know, we're seeing a free Britney now. And she's just, like, done some things that are concerning. Like what? Her runaway shows in her mansion and her twirling around dancing to Janet Jackson. I'm sorry. Half a TikTok fucking does that.
Oh, you mean when she spun around with fake knives and then told everyone where the knives came from? And
that business boomed?
The business literally could not keep up with the demand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You mean like actually having her own
terrible thing she did?
Own special drink at her favorite coffee spot in New York City that now all the proceeds go to the Trevor Project? I'm sorry. There are people on TikTok making fucking pink sauce and eating dangerous animals and torturing animals and shit for clicks and views. Let that woman spin in her fucking mansion.
Let her twirl.
You're mad because she's not camera ready, is what it is.
She don't care.
And neither should we.
She don't care.
Yes.
Also, she's gonna be making some more money because
did I miss something?
Jack Black.
I did not expect this thing. And I.
Jack Black is doing Baby Hit Me One More Time for Kung Fu Panda 4.
Fuck yes!
Yes!
More money in a Britney's pocket. Good
It
for her.
sounds really cute. I feel like there easily could have been so much reverb. I'm going to have to cut any music out of this, but I'm going to include a link in the notes, which we have for the show, where you can hear the song. They could have really gone high reverb on him. I'm so glad they didn't. I love Jack Black's voice.
Same.
It's not perfect, but
no, but that's great.
I
love the imperfections in people's voices. I hate all this auto-tune going on now.
There might be a little auto-tune going on. I don't know. There's definitely some effects going on, but he is such a fun guy. I love this version of the song.
Yes.
If you follow the link to the Twitter, it's a video of him like just dancing around his living room or whatever. So Britney's gonna be making some money off of that.
As she should.
As she should. Kung Fu Panda 4 is gonna be a full single for that.
Nice.
And segue into just my personal adoration for Jack Black in general and everything that he does.
He's just a gem. He is.
I know we're a shady show. I know we're a shady Hollywood show or shady Hollywood podcast. What the fuck it is. I know.
But no, he's just
no
so
shade.
He's great. He is. He's a rare gem in this cesspool of nonsense. Oh my god, speaking of nonsense, you heard about this whole Kelly Rowland drama?
Wait.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
But.
You see how this show works, guys? We really don't do notes before the show.
I know, because I had a whole diatribe about Jack Black ready to go, but I'm now tuned in.
Yes.
To the Kelly Rowland drama, because I just watched Mia Koopa.
So did I!
It was horrible, but so good.
I honestly loved it until the last 15 minutes. And then it was like, they were like, Tyler Perry, you have 15 minutes left to fill this movie. And it was like, and let's throw everything in here. First of all,
Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead for this
yeah.
movie, because we can't stop ourselves.
Yes. I wouldn't have even minded it ending the way that it did had they had her bashing the fucking mom's head in.
Or something.
That's the only thing that I was like...
or a few more clues leading up to it.
Oh, no. I wouldn't even say clues. I guessed that shit. Marcos will not... Hi, babe. Marcos will not... Like, he didn't believe that I guessed what was going on. But it's because I watch a lot of true crime and I watch a lot of these movies anyways. And I was like, I wonder if this... Like, and I'm good at finding clues like that.
Oh, I guess the mom... Again, spoilers. I guess the mom faking the cancer.
But, I even guessed that because she was just
But that I didn't guess the whole he's running for spoilers. He's running for mayor, so he has to frame someone for murder.
Yes. Oh, I totally guessed that.
I did not.
Oh, totally.
Why?
I totally guessed it. I to the point where Marco still to this day does not believe because he hates that I watch these YouTube recaps of movies, and that's why I base if I want to watch a movie or not, you know. But if there's something that I want to actually be invested in right in the moment, then I won't watch anything. And I block all spoilers. I'll mute the words on Twitter. He's like, "You're on Twitter all the time, and you watch those recaps. He's like, there's no way that you saw all this coming." I'm like, no, I just watch a lot of these types of movies. And I watch a lot of true crime dramas and whatnot, and I was just picking up on hints the whole way, and I'm all, I fucking bet you. I bet you this is what's gonna fucking happen, and sure enough, it all did.
Wow. I clued in late to the game. I mean, obviously, and again, you can just blip ahead 90 seconds and see if we're still talking about this, but because I don't want to spoil it, because I actually thought it was a fun movie. Yeah. It was so dumb.
But it also wasn't only because he's running for mayor. It's all because that guy also fucked his wife.
Well, that's true. But from the beginning, you obviously always have, in any crime movie.
Yes.
You always have, what do they call it, the red herring?
Yes.
Where it's your first suspect. It's never your
guy,
right? Yeah. It's never the guy. And they really only gave him two or three notes to play where he never was sympathetic.
No.
Hot always.
Yes.
Yes, fine and sexy.
The whole cast
always.
was hot.
The whole cast.
Like, Jesus.
And I will say you can always tell. I will give it up to Tyler Perry for this. You can always tell. Behind the scenes has to be. People of color as well.
Oh,
because
definitely.
The lighting, the makeup, the hair, the nails,
I'll say this.
The costuming.
Well, I will say this.
Damn.
This is the first Tyler Perry film, and this went viral on Twitter too. Not because I tweeted it, because we were all tweeting about it. Because Tyler Perry is known for fucking horrible wigs. And I was like, we were all like,
Kelly, no.
We were all like, Kelly must have brought her own fucking wigologist on set because that hair was laid. There was not one bad wig inside. Not even the mom with cancer's wig was bad.
No.
And the stylist for her.
Oh my God.
Every outfit was.
The outfits were
fucking
even
insane.
The mom jeans.
Yes, oh my, oof. Yes, she and her performance was amazing.
Oh, she was great.
Yes, great. Oh,
I never questioned the fact that she knew she was falling for it. Like, she knew she was making mistakes.
Oh, 100%.
She knew the whole time. She's like, I know I'm falling into a trap.
Yes.
But I'm doing it anyway. Because she wanted that dick.
And haven't we all done that before?
For real.
That was relatable. It was like, fuck, I shouldn't be risking my motherfucking job for this, but shit. He's saying all the right things at all the right times and being bolder than I would normally even accept.
And you know this is his thing. These are his tricks. You know he pulls this with every bitch, but it's working on me too.
Yes. But yeah, I enjoyed it all except for like the last 15 minutes. And again, and the one thing.
They could have, I guess, I don't know that there's any way they could have made that longer though. You know what I mean? Like,
I just wanted to see the mom get killed.
She did.
But you didn't really see her get killed. She got pushed back.
Yeah.
And that was the last you saw of her.
Yeah. She was such a bitch.
Yes.
That actress
horrible.
Was good.
She was really good. You know an actress is good when I see her in the street, I want to stop
her on the street.
You did. What the Kelly Rowland? Here I am on the fucking news. Crazed black maniac slapping white actress. That's the only thing I would really see that I would change because it would have just solidified everything.
A little more.
Everyone else you saw get killed on camera.
Satisfaction. Yeah.
One thing I did not see though was her best friend betraying her.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But you could tell she didn't want to.
Right.
And she was being pushed into it. But one thing I did not see, I didn't see people bitching about like, oh my gosh, she's so stupid. Why would she not demand to drive in her husband's car? You saw what she did to the husband. He would probably do the same thing to her.
It doesn't matter. You can't make sense of a movie like that. There was a sex club in the basement of his fucking apartment building. Like,
which, mind you, where is that at?
Thank you. I will go there.
All Marcos and I said were like, oh my God, we want his loft.
How much?
Like, his loft is like so cute and like has its own private like rickety elevator. And then it was like, wait, and it has a balcony too?
And a balcony and a dungeon sex club.
Right, and then a loft area, like a bedroom loft area. Yeah. Oh my God, it was. And
the dungeon sex club.
Yes. Ugh.
How much is valet parking? Yeah, I thought it was ridiculous, but so fun.
It was. It was a fun. I'm just not a big movie critic like that. There are a lot of movie snobs online who have chimed in on this movie. I'm like, for me, who's just a casual movie person, you know, I usually watch things for like 4 or 5, even 10 years later after the hype goes down. Mm-hmm. I was thoroughly enjoyed. I just wanted the mom to be dead on camera. Because she was just pushed down to the ground and then you never saw her again. But besides that, I was like, you know, this is feasible for a fun popcorn watch.
Yeah.
And Kelly did an amazing job on her performance, and so did Trevante.
Even if you've not saw the movie and been skipping ahead, hopefully you just don't care about spoilers. I honestly don't think any of the spoilers even ruin the movie because it's such a ridiculous
fun watch
that even if you know all of these aspects, when you finally see them, you're like, oh my God, that's what they were talking about. It's fun.
And that's why I watch these movie recaps, Marcos, on YouTube because unless it's something I actually want
we should totally start doing
right. Unless I actually want to be surprised by something, I normally just don't care.
It doesn't
Like an
really
M. Night
matter, 'cause it's
Shyamalan
all
like
how it
film, I don't
plays
care
out
how corny they
anyways.
are.
No.
I will never watch a movie recap of that because I want to see it in person.
Right.
There's always some twist. I'm never going to see it even coming. It's like 10 movies now. I still have not guessed a twist of his at all, good or bad. Oh, the movie, his new one coming on, by the way.
Who?
M. Night Shyamalan.
Oh, yeah.
Which looks really
he's
good.
Very hit or miss for me.
Yes, but I mean, I still am entertained by his movies, as silly as some of them may be. And there's always a stupid twist. Sometimes the twist is amazing. Sometimes the twist is just ridiculous.
And I wouldn't want to ruin that for anyone.
Yeah, but I mean, a normal movie, I want to see if I want to waste 2 hours, nowadays 3 hours, out of my time.
Mm-hmm.
So I will watch a 15-minute YouTube recap that gets rid of all of the filler and tells you all the plot points. And they even put up like the stills and like small parts of the movie, like while they're, captioning like what's going on. I'm like, you know what? That sounds interesting. I want to see the whole thing.
Honestly, I will say not only does Kelly Rowland completely carry this movie
on her back.
She is so good.
And
she looks
amazing. Some scenes I was just distracted by how gorgeous she looked.
In every shot. But also the supporting cast is so good.
Everyone was really fucking good.
The husband.
There were no bad notes for acting in this movie, which is very rare to see for a Tyler Perry production.
Look, he could start something with this. We need Mia Koopa too.
Yes, we do. That husband is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Everyone was fine.
They sure were.
Every single person.
Mia Koopa too.
Except for the fucking mom. Oh, but the drama that you didn't know about.
Oh.
You didn't hear about her and the whole Today Show situation?
Wait, no.
Oh my god.
I love how it took 10 minutes to get to...
And I had to remind you. Oh my god. So there's this whole drama 2 weeks ago now that, so she came for an interview on the Today Show and she was scheduled as the guest host for the second segment. Well, she didn't show up, and they had to get Rita Ora. Who is Rita Ora's fucking manager? Because that bitch always keeps a job, never has an album, and I just don't understand it.
She's on call.
But can we get her manager to support us, please? Because for someone that has only had, I think, 2 albums in like 12 years, and is at every performance, hosting every single...
The phone rings and
yes, she just popped right on up and guest hosted. But the initial story that came out was that Kelly Rowland was not happy with the dressing room because I guess the dressing rooms there are really too small, and either the one that she wanted or the one that was told that she would have was occupied by J-Lo, and that she stormed off and refused to guest host for the second segment. So that everyone rolled with that or whatever. Well, 4 days later, it popped up, and she still has not spoken about this, but she's been on talk shows since then supporting the movie.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where she went on the Sherry Shepherd show, and Sherry Shepherd brought her camera crew and was like, "Here's our lovely dressing room for Kelly Rowland," blah blah blah, and Kelly was just laughing about it or whatever. She still hasn't addressed it. Turns out, apparently, what happened, and I will say that I believe this theory, is that Kelly was irritated at the handling of the interview because she's there to promote her movie, which, mind you, was number 1 on Netflix, so good for her and everyone else involved.
Everyone's talking about it. That's why we went on a diatribe about it, because we presume you've watched it if you care. So, yeah.
But she was there to talk about the movie, and the reporter's like, yeah, so, Beyonce's your sister.
I was just going to say she brought up Beyonce.
Yep. And you could see her just being professional as usual, because you've never heard of Kelly being a diva.
No.
Ever.
And I was going to say...
And we've heard of a lot of people that we've talked about on this show this episode being a diva behind the scenes.
You
never hear anything bad about Kelly Rowland. So I was all, a dressing room? That just doesn't sound like her.
That doesn't sound like her.
No. So, and they were like, so she's releasing a country album. She's like, mm-hmm. And she's like, how do you feel about this? She's like, I'm so happy for my sister. I'm so happy for her. And then she kept going, and she was like, I'm just so happy for my sister. When it comes out, you can totally talk to her about this. And then it goes to the announcer. We're so excited to have Kelly Rowland on for our second segment as a guest host, which she'll be talking about her movie, and also Beyonce. And when they said that, she looked dead at the camera, broke the fourth wall, and said, tilted her head, and was like, really, bitches? You didn't pick up the hints in this interview.
Does she not have a writer that
I think
says,
she
don't
does.
talk about fucking Beyonce?
I think she does, and I think that they broke it, and that is why she's thrown off the set and said, "No, I'm good." Nope. And they did the same fucking thing on The Breakfast Club. Because she was on there the day, I think either the same day, I think she wore the same outfit, so either the same day or the next day later. And they were like, yeah, so, Beyonce just, released 2 songs from Act 2. And,
That's nice.
Yes, and we hear that Act 3 is going to be like a rock vibe, blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I'm very happy for my sister, but I'm here to talk about Mea Culpa. And they're like, well, we're always going to, ask you, when you're here, blah, blah.
Do you ask Beyonce?
Thank you. No.
First of all, they can't get Beyonce on the show.
Right,
but do you ask Beyonce about Kelly?
Yep. And she was like, and, she'll talk about that when it's her time to talk about that. I'm not here to talk about, her project. She'll talk about all that in time. I'm just here to promote my movie. I love my sister to death. And I'm so happy for everything that's going on with her. But I'm here to talk about Mea Culpa. And she gave the... Ask me one more fucking time and I'm walking out this fucking... she get that look. So
they have done her so wrong over the years. I remember, I don't remember what podcast or show this was on or whatever, but they basically kind of were asking her or positioning her as being like a supporting character for Destiny's Child. And kind of how it felt to be propping up Beyonce.
Yeah. Oh, no.
And Miss Kelly, she did not go off. But she basically was like, just answered a different question.
Uh-huh. That's how you do it. You redirect that shit.
What it was like to be a part of Destiny's Child. And
but I mean, and to say this, Beyonce does the same thing. Beyonce infamously did it to Wendy Williams, and I'll get to her in a minute. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a long show, guys. Sorry, but whatever.
They love it.
It's fine. I'm crippled right now, handicapped, and I've lost the gun off my chest. But there's this infamous interview with Destiny's Child, and Wendy kept referring them as Beyonce and the girls, and Beyonce as the backup singers, and Beyonce interrupted and said, you know what, you need to stop saying that Beyonce and the girls and the backup singers, no, we are a group. She's like, I may be the lead singer, but everyone has their part here, everyone can sing lead here, and they are not my backup singers, they are my...
And they did! They had songs of their own!
Yes! They are my sisters, and I think it's very disrespectful for you to keep referring to them as that. So please, moving forward with this interview, please do not respectfully refer to us as Beyonce and the girls or Beyonce and her backup singers, because we all sing lead. We are a group, and these are my sisters. These are not just group members.
Okay.
And there you go.
Kelly has had a phenomenal career, not only being part of Destiny's Child, not only doing several movies,
yes,
not only having
she's the only lady I will accept saying the word faggot from that fucking Freddy Krueger movie. Sorry, I will never.
She's had several campaigns for different products and things and different things.
Was a long-running host on the X Factor, the original one. She put together my favorite UK band, Little Mix.
She also...
You knew that, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And she also has had gay anthems like Commander and...
Thank you.
What's the other...
Her and David Guetta.
Come on.
Yes.
That bitch can fucking sing.
When Love Takes Over, she was always...
yes, when Love Takes Over. God
always
damn.
My favorite Child of Destiny, honestly. Everyone was always on the Beyonce train. I love Beyonce
too, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I love all the girls. Except for Farrah. No one loves Farrah. She was there for fucking 2 weeks. Shouldn't count.
That fucking bitch.
But Kelly was always my favorite as a dark-skinned black male. I was always drawn to her and her beauty. I love the tone of her voice. She and Beyonce sound extremely similar at times. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't know this, you know that Check Up On It was actually a Destiny's Child song. And it's actually Kelly Rowland singing on the second verse, even though Beyonce released it for that movie as a solo project. That's also why the producer says Destiny's Child. In similar fashion, how most of the Pussycat Dolls, I know way too much about music history, most of the Pussycat Dolls' second album were scrap tracks from Nicole's shelved first album, which is why the producer's yelling, her name is Nicole, because the album was called Her Name is Nicole. And you can clearly hear it in the second verse, that is Kelly Rowland singing.
Yeah. No, I love her. She has absolutely had her own trajectory and her own career, and she has. I saw her in West Hollywood, same way I saw Lady Gaga. By the way, I saw Kelly in West Hollywood doing one of her songs at what is it now? Chapel.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Or Abby or whatever it was at the time. Might have been Abby at the time. Or yeah, Abby's still around. I don't fucking know. I go out. Amazing. She was so great.
She can sing,
so
she can dance. She has a total package.
Even then, it was clearly beneath her, and yet at the time, she was living it up.
Exactly.
Having the best experience and playing with the crowd. And, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do to promote that album and promote that song.
Hell, Jennifer Lopez popped up at a fucking drag brunch at the Abbey 4 weeks ago. Jennifer fucking Lopez.
Thank you.
To surprise her drag impersonator, which I think is hilarious. And no one even knew. She was doing one of JLo's numbers, and she popped up to join her, and the drag queen was like,
I love that.
Holy fuck, this is Jennifer fucking Lopez. I'm like, what is going on? I love things like that. It's also why I love this city.
Oh, yeah, I forget, you know, sometimes, like, oh, yeah, that's right, I live in fucking Hollywood.
Oh, totally, all the time.
Well, I was reminded of that fact when I was invited to a screening of Dune 2.
Oh.
Out, I think it's out this week, actually.
I think so. They're doing a lot of press right now on red carpets. It has to be out this week, yeah. They never do red carpets that early.
The thing I love best about a screening is the lights go down, the fucking movie starts.
Yep. No previews.
No. Oh, thanks for coming to AMC. No. We did not see Nicole Kidman. We did not see the fucking dancing Coca-Colas.
Right.
We did not see half an hour of fucking previews. Lights went down. The movie went on. Now, normally, by the way, at a screening, you will get an introduction to the film, which I am totally fine with.
Yeah.
Because when I went to see Doctor Strange 2, or Doctor Strange,
whatever it was, something of the madness of the multiverse, or I can't. These titles.
Look, I forget the titles, but Sam, the director himself,
Doctor Strange, Tattooed Teenage Alien Fighters of Beverly Hills.
The director himself came out.
Yes, those are always fun.
Yeah, and this is someone who directed some of my favorite horror movies of all time. And even though a lot of people may not have liked this particular Doctor Strange movie, I fucking loved it.
So did I.
And
I had a good time.
You have experiences like that, and I got to see Dune 2 before many other people did. I feel very privileged. Thank you to Chris Riley, and thank you to nerds like us for setting up the screening.
Sorry, I just clicked something on my phone. We can edit that out.
And
or not. Y'all know how much of a mess this show is.
I know. It's just, things are happening.
Yes.
But I just rewatched Dune Part 1.
I still have not seen it. Again, I watched things years
it's
later.
It's fine. You know,
after the hype.
I'm really glad I watched it because there's a lot of stuff.
Okay.
Dune is one of the first. It came out in the 60s, I think. One of the first like space. I don't want to call it novella because it was like Lord of the Rings size. You know what I mean? It's like King James Bible times 2 for each fucking chapter. So, you know, Dune had multiple chapters. There was a movie that came out, I think, in the 80s. I remember being a big, like, obviously in retrospect, that was a movie that had kind of come up, but I don't ever remember it. But what they've done with this go around is they're making the movies much more expansive, much longer, they're much more like the books.
Got you.
And this one at first we already knew was going to be part 1 and part 2. I don't want to spoil anything for anybody who's into Dune,
so
but
spoiler
it's going to be...
Do we have an alert sound like mixed in?
It's going to be a trilogy. I think they've all but
is that necessary?
I think they've all but confirmed.
In your opinion, is it necessary?
Here's the thing.
That's a no.
My only complaint about the movies thus far I like the political aspects, the ecological, spiritual aspects of it, the indigenous people, the way they kind of included all this different stuff. Like, there's so many elements to it. It's very interesting. Plus, it's in space, and there are giant killer worms.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things going on.
Oh, that's what that weird butthole-looking thing is?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like a huge sand.
See, sorry guys, laugh all you like, but I just don't pay attention to movies like that.
Those are teeth.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a booty hole to me. But
So the only downside is I feel as though, like, even in Lord of the Rings, you knew it was going to be another chapter, but I felt as though that first movie was complete. You had a particular story.
Yes.
That story was told. Yes, you may know it's a chapter. They're looking off to the end. Maybe the best example that comes to my mind is fucking The Matrix, right? You learn there's the Matrix.
Yes.
They find Neo. They save
Yeah.
what's his fuck Morpheus.
Mm-hmm. And that's it. That's cool.
That's great. And then at the end, he's like, I'm coming to get you, and fucking flies away.
Yeah.
Okay, we get it. There's more to come.
Yeah.
But I still felt like that first chapter was very well told.
Yes, 100%.
Yes, it leaves it open to part 2.
But also, it doesn't need to be open. It can end just like that.
Well, it could have, and to some people's eyes, maybe it should have.
Yeah.
But I actually like the Matrix series. I don't care. But for me, that first movie, when I really watched it, I was like, oh, you know what? Concluded.
Yes.
If I only
I got what I
watched
needed.
the original Matrix,
I busted my nut,
I
and
would be
that's
satisfied.
it. Didn't need any more.
The thing I felt about the first Dune movie was it actually really built up. It had this, really good climax. It was a story about them essentially like surviving this political coup. But then it just went on for another 40 minutes.
Got you.
And then at the end of that 40 minutes, they're like, well, now we start our journey.
Start?
I've watched 2.5 hours of this movie, and we are starting the journey into the desert.
You've been on your goddamn journey.
Girl. Part 2. Continued elements of the first conflict.
Okay.
The new antagonist.
Yeah.
That was built up and resolved. Great. We had the ending. Much shorter time frame. Now it has begun.
What?
2 hours and 15 minutes later, a total
When
of
does it
4
end?
hours and 45 minutes. It has begun? Girl, give me a rest. Like, we just
That
went
part.
through some shit.
Yes.
There was like a big final bad boss battle. Like, let me relax.
Yes.
I don't want to feel like to be continued. I want to feel like this movie is over for now. Maybe
Yes.
there's other stuff
Later
left
on
off.
to be explored.
Sure, there's things that haven't been tied off yet.
Yes.
You introduced all those things. Let me feel like this movie is over.
And that's it. And then surprise me when it pops back up for another one.
So that's my only complaint about it, is I just
Okay.
feel like they leaned too much into the fact that there was more to come. Like, just satisfy me with that ending, for Christ's sake. Like, just...
Oh, Jesus.
Please.
Well, speaking of Dune, how you doing?
Oh!
Because that leads me into my last topic, which is Wendy Williams. Have you been keeping track of this situation?
A little bit, and it's so sad.
Oh, there's a lot, because I've been watching the documentary. Do we have more wine?
Well, we don't have any more wine, but we have some Corbel champagne. Is Corbel champagne? I don't know. But we're still...
It's not a sparkling wine. Champagne only comes
Okay, we have sparkling wine.
Champagne, France.
We have sparkling wine. That's true. But it's good enough to toast to Miss Wendy, who has been going through it for some time.
Oh, yes. So Wendy's documentary has just come out. 4 episodes on Lifetime this past weekend. Called
I gotta watch that too. I gotta Hulu that shit.
Yeah, called Where is Wendy Williams? Oh, you have to have a fucking Hulu like premium with all the Disney Plus and bullshit to even watch it.
Oh, I have that.
But okay, well then, excuse me, $80 a month. All right. But I guess the
Come
lifetime
on. Disney Plus got me. They're like, you can get all this shit. I'm like, well,
oh, okay. But I guess that there's a lifetime app, and it's free on there. In case you're listening. You know, I'm a YouTuber, so there's
I'll
always
put that on my phone because you know what? When I do my little beauty routine at night, I
See,
like
there
to
you
have
go.
my stories going.
Yep. Yeah. So just some backstory because I've heard a lot of backlash. Like people were exploiting her. Blah 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 blah. Like why would she like do this? She takes off her wig in this documentary, which that was a big thing. She's like, you'll never see me without a wig. She's not very lucid throughout most of it. But to give some backstory, this documentary was not meant to be what it is. This documentary was meant as her comeback documentary for her podcast. And then production realized something's off. And she's under a conservatorship. Same thing as Britney, but different.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no... I mean, with Britney, it was completely wrong. There was no signs of anything going on. This is when she was 25 years old, and they listed her as having early onset dementia, which is ridiculous at 25 years old.
Yeah.
But then she can remember lyrics and record
dance
albums and sell out world tours. And yeah, it doesn't make any sense. With Wendy, there were some things going on.
Yeah.
So perhaps there was some reason to kind of reel in something to a certain degree. However, this Guardian, whose name they bleep out, and who also recently, right before it aired, tried to sue Lifetime to have it not aired, has clearly been taking advantage of this whole situation.
See, there are people that do this.
Oh,
this
yes.
is their whole scam.
Yes.
They move in
That's
on
just
people.
like Lou Taylor, who was Britney Spears' co-conservator along with her fucking father, and tried to get Lindsay Lohan and many other celebrities under a conservatorship because they want to control things and leech money off of people. So, and this lady has now, of course, been outed from doing the same thing to other celebrities. As is the judge that has ordered it for Wendy Williams under this Guardian.
Oh, so there's something going on.
There's something going on.
There's some money sliding under that bench. Ooh. A conservatorship.
There are two kinds of conservatorships. There's one that is of finance, so someone who just is not mentally sound to take care of their money. Maybe they're someone rich and maybe they're not even out of it or anything like that, but they are blowing through so much fucking money and not able to financially be accountable for themselves that you have to reel them in.
Well, or someone like, actually we have, it's not a full conservatorship, but we have within my family, I'll just keep it nebulous, like there's someone who is significantly older.
Yes.
And they are, or should be, on a fixed income.
Yes.
And they do require health care and they do require XYZ. So someone has had to step in to be able to pay bills from
handle those affairs.
This person's account rather than their own.
Exactly.
Which is what was occurring first.
Yes.
And of course they are going to have to take some of that money back because they already paid, thousands of dollars in some expenses. So it does take some time for this to happen. But there are circumstances in which it is imperative for someone to be able to pay for doctor bills, care, etc. That is usually like a family member or someone who's close or what have you. But not even a full conservatorship. But if you're sick, like she has been. Yeah. And she has not been well for some time.
Exactly.
But there are also people who step in who are only in it.
And that's what's going on with this.
To leech off of somebody.
Yes. There's also a physical conservator, which is Britney had both. which the physical doesn't make any sense at all for Britney's case because, again, she was fucking 25 and they forced her to tour and sign contracts and work and whatnot. So she's clearly physically capable.
She's physically able.
Of doing everything and making sound decisions and remembering things. Wendy, again, did have some missteps or whatever. And also a lot of things happened back to back to back to back to back. The whole husband thing.
Right.
And then her mother died and the fainting on stage. And she recently was diagnosed with a form of dementia and aphasia, which isn't like normal dementia that just develops in the back part of your brain. This one is frontal that can happen if you have blunt trauma on your head in general, which to me, no one's even brought this up. To me, I'm wondering if her fall might have contributed to it. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, it does not paint her in the best light to just casual viewers. I've also realized how little people know about dementia because a lot of the main focus is, oh my God, how can she be so mean to everyone? Because she's mean in this documentary. I mean, she has a driver that's there in this poor man. He's someone I'm actually rooting for. They're like, hey, like, how long have you been a driver for her? And he's like, oh, like 3 years or so. I've been fired twice. And they're like, well, how is she? She's like, sometimes she's lovely. Sometimes she's okay. And sometimes she's just crazy and very, very mean. And then you see her in the car. And she's demanding that he go. Well, first of all, she walks into the SUV. And he's holding the door for her. He's like, hey, Wendy, how are you doing? And she's like, first of all, you're just a driver. Don't ask about me. And it's like, whoa, even for the normal celebrities, you're at least nice to your drivers, especially if you're on camera.
Someone that you know for the last years.
And then you see him in the car, and there's her assistant, Sean. And Sean has now become the villain, one of the villains, because she is basically become an enabler. Mm-hmm. They're looking for a vape. They move to the smoke shop, and they're sitting in front of the smoke shop forever. So much so that the light goes from day to night. She goes in, she tries to get a vape, and she's like, what the fuck is this? It's not what I fucking want. And she's like, well, this is what, And you see her going in. It's like, hey, do you know Wendy Williams? He's like, oh, yeah, smoke shop guy. And she's like, well, she wants, do you know what she normally gets? I never really get her vapes.
Yeah.
Because she's like, what the fuck is this? No, you go in there and you fucking get another one. This is not what I want. You have two fucking minutes to come back. And she goes back. She's like, well, this is what he says that you want. And this is all he has as far as close to what you want. She's like, what is going on? First of all, you driver, go to the fucking Wendy Williams show. And she kept saying that. And then she kept correcting herself to Sherry Shepherd's show. And she's like, you don't even fucking know where the fuck you are, fucking New York. You never fucking even driven here. And where the fuck is my fucking vape? You go get me my fucking, she's demanding and being, but it's that's how people with dementia are. First and foremost, they can be very mean. And her form of dementia affects her communication.
Ability to speak. Aphasia is actually your ability to form words and to speak, and I can only imagine...
and your personality is going to be out of whack as well.
I'm also, I don't want to defend anyone who's rude or mean to anyone else, but if you cannot form words, and you are having trouble even just vocalizing things, that is going to be very frustrating.
Oh, 100%.
And I know for myself, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
I'd be very pissed off.
Yeah.
Whenever you're not feeling well, when you have ailments, I try to sequester myself because I know I'm not pleasant.
Same.
So it does surprise me that it doesn't surprise me that they would put this out, but it does surprise me that Lifetime has, I don't know. I guess Lifetime has no responsibility for anything.
Well, no, that's the thing, though. This is actually part of Wendy's deal. And, it gets deeper. It's going to be probably another 5-minute talk.
Okay.
But, no, but even then, you see producers stepping in. They're like...
Look, this is anti-Wendy, okay?
Right. No, when you see, the next shot is literally them at night in the same spot. And producers like, hey, We should
where we're gonna go.
we should just rap. Like,
Yeah.
let's just like I don't think we should
This sparkling wine is very
like
crispy, by
yes,
the way.
it is. They're like we should like I don't think we should air this. Like let's just wrap this up. Like you could tell they're coaxing
Yeah.
for this to be done because this is not what they signed up for. And they finally do for that day. But then she has this manager fucking Will, who I'm gonna say it. I think that Will and Wendy are fucking, and he's taking advantage of her because the way he speaks to her is like an abusive boyfriend. You have people that are there for a meeting to try to pitch a podcast. She's literally in bed asleep, and he's like, "I know you hear my voice. You need to wake up. Like, let's go." And she's like, "I don't want to hear from you. Like, fuck you." Like, he's like, okay, I need you to wake up. Like, let's go. Which is not how you talk. You have to be firm with people with dementia or any kind of cognitive situation, but you can't act like that type situation. And she's like, you don't fucking tell me what to do. And then he finds a bottle of empty Kettle One. And he's like, did you fucking drink this? And she's like, you put that right there. You put that right there. And it's this whole back and forth. He's like, well, we have people here. How much time do you need to nap? How about you go back to sleep? How about like another hour? Let's give you an hour. It's this whole thing. And then she's like, when she comes to, she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't know who you were. It's a weird, abusive, romantically inclined situation. Then you get her sister Wanda, who she's talked about in the show before. She talks about very little people in her life. And Wanda's trying to call Will, and Will's like, hey, can I call you back? Like, I'm a little busy and filming. And sits in a chair for an interview. Well, here comes Alex, who is her niece / goddaughter. And Alex has put like to this because she was just on The View last week. And she explained all this. She was like, we thought this was going to be a documentary about her comeback. And we were in constant communication with her until we weren't. When this guardianship stepped into place. So when I stepped, she's like, and she is listed as like an executive producer along with her son, which makes sense because Wendy likes to take care of her family.
Yeah.
So she's going to do that. But she's like, I didn't realize the severity. Like you're seeing in real time her realizing what's going on camera. And she's like, I know you guys see her as like Aunt Wendy or like it's like Wendy Williams. Like, but this is my aunt. It's what I grew up with. This is my godmother. And I'm like, there are people taking advantage of you. Do you want to go through with this? Because I don't think that this should be aired. And she said that she wants everything good, bad, and the ugly aired. And I think personally, maybe it'll be a form of healing for her. Some people need to see themselves in real life.
Yeah.
I mean, let's dumb it down a little bit. Your friends are like, oh my God, you were so crazy last night when you were like fucked up and you blow it off. But then you see a video and you're like, that's fucking me? Holy shit.
Yeah, like when I saw that video of me dancing shirtless on a table at some random restaurant in the valley, and I was like, it wasn't that bad.
And then you look at it and you're like, holy shit. Like, I think that needs to be someone's reality. You know what I mean? But she also said that
Wendy has lived a whole life through the media, dragging herself
and with addiction and whatnot.
And I feel like, as sad as it is, or whatever, and obviously she should not be taken advantage of, but if she feels like she wants to do it,
then that's that. And that's why her niece allowed it to happen. But you saw in real time when her niece came to her apartment, there were supposed to be people there already, like from another meeting, and someone called her niece and she's like, Wendy is asleep and I can't wake her up, but she's alive, obviously. But there are stacks of clothes everywhere. The cats have peed everywhere. No one's cleaned it up. We can't have anyone seeing any of this. It's going to go straight to the media, blah, blah, blah. Her niece gets there. She's talking to her. She's like, what is going on? And she's clearly out of it. Like, she's like, like the show, and like, in September, I'm going to be back on TV. And she's like, Aunt Wendy, like, when? Like, huh? Like, who said this? She's like, according to my apartment, and that's what she said, apartment. Yeah. And she's like, Okay, but
So she is just not.
no. And like she has Graves'
together.
disease, so her eyes are bugging out, you know, which
Yeah.
is a symptom of that.
Mhm.
And she's like, yeah, like, and she's like, okay, but what about the show? She's like, yeah, the show is fine. You can tell she's just off, and you can see in real time her niece not wanting to
yeah.
get pissed the fuck off at what's going on with her handlers, like her publicist Sean and her manager Will,
Yeah.
until she's away. Because then she calls up Will, and she's like, "What is going on? There is no food in my aunt's refrigerator. You guys have been eating out every single night. What is happening right now? You're supposed to be in charge of her well-being. What are you doing?" And she went on Wendy. She's like, "You were smarter than this. You were stronger than this. Like, you're letting people leech off of you and steal your fucking
she's
money."
not in a capacity right now where she can really understand that.
Well, no, but also
That's
with
the
her, but they're also
thing,
allowing her
like-
to drink, and they're not. They're literally in.
I was just about to say, I am wondering how much other stuff is going on when you have someone who has XYZ ailments, then they're going to be on medications, they're going to be on this, that, the other, plus you're adding alcohol to that.
Yes, and no one's controlling that.
Also something else, like this, that, the other.
It's a lot.
Suddenly someone is... I just, it's just so messy, like...
The whole thing is messy. The only ones that in that whole like documentary that were on her side were her family, her son, her nephew, and her niece / goddaughter. Her son's like, people have come after me in the media because, this guardian who we've never met before, mind you, has said that I took $100,000 from her, and he's like, look, she lives a very expensive lifestyle. She throws me $100,000 birthday parties. This is not outside of her realm of spending at all. He got evicted from his apartment because they blocked off her finances, and it was automatically coming out of her account, and no one even knew about this until he got an eviction notice. And his apartment alone was $10,000 a month.
Girl, where are you living?
Right. Well, I mean, that's like $1,000 a month for fucking us. It's like, that's nothing. But I mean, that's what she wants to do for her son. That's what she wants to do for her family. And that was all cut off. And even her goddaughter said, you have people, she's like, listen to people that are around you that don't care, that are not financially connected to you. Like, she's like, I have no access to your money, Aunt Wendy. These people do. And they've done this. And they're enabling you to not get better, and that's not okay.
She's not in a position to advocate.
And they have no contact with her.
She's just not.
What her niece said was on The View, because they asked, like, well, have you talked to her? And she's like, you know what? The thing with this whole thing is that they wanted her sister, her best friend, to be the guardian. And then they thought that was going to be coming. And then, boom, wall dropped.
The other one.
With wall dropped, they can't contact her. She has to contact them. She says she was at meeting. She was at dinner the other day, and she missed the phone call, and she realized that it was her Aunt Wendy. She calls the number back, and she says, "Hi, is Wendy there?" And she was told that there is no one by that name here. So then she said she got a call from a blocked number because Wendy, I guess, snuck a phone. And they talked for like 5 hours, and she was like, I didn't want to get off the phone because it's like, when am I going to talk to you again? So her immediate family can't even reach out to her. She has to reach out to them, which is fucking ridiculous.
That's fucking scary. That's scary. And what's really scary about this is that this is not just happening to Wendy Williams. This is happening to elderly and disabled people all over the country who these fucking scam artists are coming in and getting in good with them for a few weeks and then suddenly taking over as conservators.
They're preying on the rich weak.
Totally out of the blue. Well, also even people on a lower scale who are getting monthly SSI, disability.
They're draining fucking people dry.
We're not even talking about, for some people, like a ton of money. It's a few $1,000s here, whatever. But they're able to skim all of this towards themselves and drain these people dry. They take everything from them. They cut them off from their family. There's a whole documentary I watched about this where people move in.
Yes.
No, I mean they move into the house.
They're like leeches. They're like parasites.
They take over control of this person. They don't allow them to speak to their family. They have control over all their money. They sell off their cars. They sell off their assets. They do all this crazy fucking shit. And like I said, sometimes it's a few $1,000s.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's happening all over.
Yes.
And I can't imagine being in that situation where you're not in control of yourself, where this is happening to you, but also just being on the outside and watching this happen, where you're trying to help this person,
and you can, you're literally blocked. Like you can't even call them. But her sister did just reach out the other day and say that they still can't reach out to her, but she has been speaking to her frequently. And her niece actually jumped on and said this as well, that she's not the person that you saw in the film, that she has no problem with the film being out.
Yeah.
And that she seems to be just more coherent with her speech and everything. And like they're still concerned because of the block from family.
Well, of course.
But she does seem to be getting better. So I'm hoping that behind the scenes, now that she does seem to be a little more lucid, they're like, girl, figure out legal ways to get the fuck out of this.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's, again, depending on what, like, they're putting her on, plus the addition of alcohol and, like, all this other stuff.
She's in a wellness center right now, so there's no alcohol. So that's a good thing. That's probably why she sounds more lucid, because who knows what they were giving her.
Yeah.
It's very easy to make someone not of sound mind, especially if you have enablers living with you as your manager and your publicist and leeching off of them.
That's so crazy. I swear to God, when I get old, which I mean, obviously it's never going to happen.
Never going to happen, no. We're vampires.
Well, not only that, but like all my treatments and all, I'm very healthy.
He's very well preserved.
But I look at it like this, like Cher is like turning like 77, 78 or whatever this year. She's in like full capacity or whatever. But like, if I'm at 77, 78, and I'm not at full capacity, bitch, put me out. I'm telling you right now. And I don't mean to be a downer.
No.
I actually have a very dark sense of humor.
Yes. Yeah.
I know the future holds many things for us.
Yep.
And hopefully we'll be in perfect working order forever. But dear
if
God,
not, I don't want to suffer.
take me out.
Same.
Get like...
if I can't communicate to you, then like that's it to me. Like,
and also our healthcare should allow people to just go out with a bang.
I agree.
Again, not to be a downer.
Yes, but oh God,
I'm just saying, like,
it's the truth. I agree.
I want to feel as though I have lived my life. I've had those experiences,
and then whenever the next realm comes.
Well, that's what I tell my clients all the time, and what I tell people in general, and what I'll tell you, the listener, is take care of yourself now.
Yeah.
Do you want to spend the last 20 years of your life in pain?
No.
Do
what you can.
Eat better.
Some things are unavoidable, but
Eat better. Just try.
Yeah.
Eat better, like 80% of the time. Eat well. Move your body.
Yes.
Doesn't matter.
A little bit.
It doesn't matter if you're parking at the far end of the parking lot and walking all the way to the front of the store, or if you have to go up the stairs, don't take the elevator. Just move your body. Do things that are good for you in your life. Like, take care of yourself, because you do not want to spend the end years in horrible pain. And if so, I hope there's just a shot or a button that I can press.
I'm just button on my knee.
Speaking of Richie Rich's knee.
I also have to pee again. I'm going on mic right now.
We're not ready yet. It's not time.
I know, but I gotta pee.
But it is the end of the show. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out our sponsors and our show notes and save some money by using our coupon codes. Until next time,
goodbye.
Bye.